Here.
So going to the key area of engagement in this debate, what I want all of us to understand is that there is a massively flawed assumption from side proposition. What they told you repeatedly is that if something is popular in the society, then it's also going to get traction in the legislative. We don't think that's necessarily the case. Unfortunately, things such as money in politics, things such as the gerrymandering system, for instance, necessitates that the legislative system isn't as representative as they claim it. Statistics suggest that more than 90% of the Congress House and the Congress race is won by those who have more money, suggesting that Republicans with more populace is going to be more likely to win in comparison to Democrats in that sense. That shows the significance and the urgency for Obama to behave in that particular way. So let's talk about the engagement in this case. I'm going to talk about two things in this key area of engagement. One, I'm going to be very thankful if their characteristics and if their parameter is that this is something urgent and something sustainable, because this is going to be an easy victory for us. So let's talk about whether or not it stains the democratic system, because it's not going to be sustainable, because it's going to be harmful, because it doesn't fulfill the threshold of emergency. I have four responses to this. Number one, this is a huge concession that says essentially the policy substance is good, to the point that it might very well be popular to the basis on the ground. Secondly, I think that they conveniently negate and also ignore the unique characteristics of how obstructionist the Republicans have been during the Obama presidency. Things such as government shutdown, things such as being obstructionist in the states, reducing the budget of Obamacare in the states level even after the obligation from the federal government. We told you things such as extreme partisanship, the reduction in terms of bill that is supported by both Republicans and Democrats reduced significantly during Obama presidency. That suggests that the willingness of Republicans is massively diminished to be able to cooperate with Democrats in that sense. The third response to that, I think if anything, Republicans are the ones staining the democracy. Saying, for example, that Obamacare or giving healthcare to individuals is not a right should guarantee us to be able to prioritize these individuals in comparison to being convenient and being polite to Republicans as our discussion partner. Fourth response to that, I think if they claim that this is not going to be sustainable because there's a probability to be revoked, I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think individuals on the ground sometimes need to experience the benefit of the policy first in order for them to be able to support it as well. DACA is being supported after it's being implemented. The benefit of Iran nuclear deal, that they're not going to be able to make nuclear weapons and going to be inspected by IAEA, needs to be experienced first in terms of efficacy for the people on the ground, and that's what's created pushback in the first place when Republicans try to revoke DACA. That's how they lose the political will, especially in the first coming midterm elections at the end of the day. There is a worry and fear currently in Republicans that tries to, when they try to revoke Obama's policy exactly because it gained tractions currently in the society. So let's talk about the second parameter that they talk about. That's how we're going to lose, and this is going to be dangerous for our political support. I have three responses. Number one, I think this is instead an important safety net for the Democrats, especially the legislative, and something to fall back on in order for them to prove that their policy is a lot better and they are willing to fight harder in order to gain the political support in the first place. I think secondly, the reason why Democrats unfortunately lost in the previous election was not because of the executive order. It's even because of Hillary trying to distance herself from Obama, saying that her policy is going to be different, and that she is going to be a lot better in that sense. The elitism that she didn't want to campaign in Rust Belt areas such as Michigan and Wisconsin. That's the primary reason why she lost, and not because of the executive order. Had she, for example, not distancing herself with Obama, we think that's going to be a lot better instead, because she can say that the dogmatic aspect and the policy substance is going to be a lot better and more coherent in comparison to Trump. So that's not the reason why we lost. But lastly, I think being strong, or even if there is not necessarily a high popularity, this is the very worst case scenario on our side, I think consolidating our own basis first, the liberal and the Democrats first in comparison to taking swing voters, is already a significant enough of a benefit. The liberals and the conservatives are almost always divided in half, and making sure that they don't vote for another party will make us politically strong as well. The reason why we lost in the previous election was exactly because we lost the democratic firewall. States who previously voted for Obama, but afterwards voted for Trump. With the popular rhetoric that they are pro-society, that they are pro-workers, for example. So this means that consolidating our base first is a lot more important in comparison to prioritizing the purity of the democratic system as well. So let's extend this debate further. I want to make sure that you understand that the current resistance in the democratic base and the progressive base exactly happens due to the willingness for them to keep this policy intact. What do you need to understand about this point? What do you need to understand is that there is a growing movement, even within the Democratic Party, that wants to keep multiple policies in place. Justice Democrats is a part or a wing of Democratic Party who says that they don't want to receive any corporate money, but want to rely more on the people's money and want to become the representative of the people as well. I think this happens for a couple of reasons. One, this happens because they understand in order to represent the people correctly and in order to make the policy actually become more popular in what they are going to advocate for, you need to actually make sure that there is no corporate or there is no protracted discussion in the legislative as well. I think saying that you're going to always compromise with the Republicans is exactly what's going to damage this resistance in the first place. I think resistance can only happen when you have a maximalist demand that you don't want any of your constituents' rights to be taken away by the political systems, that you don't and you're not going to give up at the end of the day. I think saying that essentially the Democratic Party or any wing of the progressive is going to just succumb down and bow down to the Republican Party is what's exactly going to reduce this resistance in the first place. The second reason why this point is absolutely important is because I think this strengthens organically the swing voters to the Democrat base as well. Because at the point that they see that this party is no longer beholden only to the system, for example, or no longer care to what the rigged system and what the politicians care about, but actually willing to represent the people, that's the moment when the organic changes within the Democratic Party actually happen. What are the conclusions of this debate? The conclusions of this debate is if they want more chances for you to win as Democratic Party, you get that under our set. What is the other thing? The other thing is that this does not clearly state the democratic system. It even allows us to make us more representative to the society at large. And for all those reasons, the motion falls.